What is up, Planeswalkers? Therex6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Be sure to go to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6 for 10% off on orders over $10. It's a good deal and helps support the channel. Now today, we're playing a classic on the channel, some easy mode decks. Now, for those of you who don't know, easy mode is a patron of the channel, really long-time supporter, one of the first people who joined me in this this return to form. And he also has a YouTube channel. He makes a lot of really interesting decks. Any of those decks that I play of his, I call them easy mode. Or I say like too easy or something like that. So today we're playing easy mode Bant. This is I believe the second iteration on his Bant midrange list, and I don't know why this game refuses to keep my cards how they were. I'm incredibly offended. Now, as you might have seen, as I move these things around, I've only been able to play a total of 5 games with this deck, 3 of which I won. Because, for whatever reason, the play mode has just been crapping its pants in terms of being able to connect to people. It's been taking like 1 minute, 2 minutes, a bunch, and I've had to keep resetting and things. So I decided, I think my last game I played was in ranked, so I'm going to start doing ranked again, which is totally fine, I think, at this point, because I'm still only in silver, so everything should be okay. So, without any more nonsense, we're going to go ahead and jump into the main deck of this build. We are going to be playing best of one, although he does have a sideboard, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. Now, we're running 2 Spell Pierces, main deck, because there are a lot of people playing non-creatures. You know, Rakdos Burn, even just mono red, mono blue, bunch of control decks, a bunch of mid-range decks. A lot of people are playing non-creature spells. So the ability to just deal with these for 1 mana is pretty helpful in a deck like this that does operate, to an extent, a lot during your opponent's turn. We are, of course, running 4 Hero of Precinct One because we are running a decent number of multicolored spells. And the ability to generate extra resources with our cards is really what we want to be doing in this style of mid-range deck. We're running 4 Growth Chamber Guardians for very similar reasons. This is a 2-mana 2/2 deck, can become really easy 4/4, and one that when it does become a 4/4, you get replacement Guardians, so that if you like kind of lose out on that mana investment because your creature dies, you still have something to show for it, which is very helpful. You're running 4 Deputy of Detention. This card, fantastic against tokens, but it's also just pretty decent against any sort of aggro deck. Being a 1/3 body is nice because they can't use just a shock on it. They have to use one of the 3 damage burn spells. And when 3 damage burn spells are going at your face, or going at your creature instead of your face, it's pretty good in my book. Now, of course, this is a card that gets a little bit worse in certain matchups that don't really necessarily care about them losing a single creature, that also don't end up playing, you know, go wide strategies, but those are few and far between. And for what it's worth, the ability for Deputy to hit any non-land permanent, not just creatures, is very helpful. So you can go ahead and get rid of things like Wilderness Reclamation, Planeswalkers, etc., etc. Speaking of some nice modalities here, we have Knight of Autumn as a 3/of. She is still one of my favorite cards from Guilds of Ravnica, and I'm hoping to get back into playing her in kind of an Abzan mid-range deck. But the flexibility on this card is fantastic and should not be understated. She can either be a 4/3 if you really need pressure or a large blocker. She can destroy an artifact or enchantment, usually it's going to be an enchantment in this metagame, or she can gain you 4 life. And all of those modes come in handy in a variety of decks in a variety of scenarios. Very, very helpful. We're running 2 Dovin Grand Arbiter. This card is pretty decent, with a +1 that works really nicely with the amount of tokens that we are able to create in various scenarios, and its -1 allows us not only to stem the tide in terms of life gain, but also stem the tide in terms of the fact that we have a blocker. Additionally, since our ground creatures are going to be something that can really gum up the board, we can utilize those Thopters in order to attack in from the air. If you ever get the -7 off, which is not hard, by the way, you're going to be able to be really far up ahead on advantage, not only because you're drawing those 3 extra cards, but those 3 cards are the cards that you purposefully selected. So very frequently I'll get something like Teferi, a Frilled Mystic, and one of these 2, and I'm pretty much just set from there because I have a really proactive card and 2 pretty decent reactive cards there. So speaking about a little bit of reactivity, we run 4 Frilled Mystics because it counters a spell and it gives us a creature. Very helpful. 2 Conclave Tribunals. These are just another catch-all answer in place of Deputy of Detention because it is technically a little bit harder for this card to be removed, and it's, you know, just an additional fail-safe, essentially. But it's not, quote-unquote, necessary. And the reason we're running Conclave Tribunal over Ixalan's Binding, I assume, as I said, easy mode was the one who built this deck, is that we do have a large possibility of going really wide with tokens. So being able to squeeze that in amongst other spells is very helpful. That said, if you found that Conclave Tribunal just doesn't have the same impact that you want on the games, feel free to sub this out for Ixalan's Binding. We are running 2 Teferis. look, it's not my fault. This was Easy Mode's list. I don't think I changed anything in the main deck at all. So yell at him. Go to his channel, do it, and yell at him about it there. So we are playing 2 Teferis. We do have a decent number of instant speed spells and instant speed effects. So the ability to actually untap those lands is helpful, but we're not, we're not spamming counter spells, so you don't have to worry about that. The -3, always helpful. Being able to just remove any nonsense that you don't want to deal with is pretty good. You're almost never going to get to a -8 with this, at least from what I saw him play the games and from my own experience in the deck. But if you do, you win. So we of course have 1 Dream Eater, and I really like this card, not only because the art is dope, Darken did a great job, but also because it is a very effective card at making sure you don't like flood out on lands. In one of the games where I resolved this card, I binned 4 lands off the top of my library. Very glad I did that. But also, it bounces something which can mean the difference between winning or losing the game. So, very helpful card. We run 4 Depose Deploy. Depose, very helpful sometimes if you just really need to tap down something before you end up getting to 4 mana. And it draws you a card, always nice. And Deploy, I just love this card so much. It's so crisp. You create 2 Floppers, which have flying, and you gain life for each creature you control. Usually, you're going to have like at least 1 other creature on the board. So being able to gain 3 life and have 2 1/1 flyers is nice. But the fact that sometimes we have something like Hero of Precinct One out, maybe we went Hero, Knight of Autumn, Deploy, it's a lot of life gain on 1 card. It's very helpful. 2 Warrant Warden. I've found that I've utilized Warrant a little bit more than Warden, but Warden is still a good card. Being able to make a 4/4 blue Sphinx creature that has... It's Sarah Sphinx, essentially. That is very helpful. It is sorcery, which you should definitely keep in mind, but the Warrant side is essentially the best aspect of Azorius Charm. Being able to put a attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library is helpful, not only because it acts as creature removal, but it functionally acts as kind of a pseudo discard spell, because you force your opponent to have that creature, right? And you're going to know and be able to prepare your response to it, which is very helpful. Then, of course, this is the mana base. I did not change it because I'm not great with mana bases. So we are going to go into ranked mode. I did win 3 out of 5 games. One of the games I lost was against Mono Red Burn. I don't remember what the other deck I lost to. I think it was Mono White Aggro. I did win against a Mono Red Burn deck. Gosh, what are the... I won against a White Green Tokens deck. I can't for the life of me remember the last deck. So here, this is actually a pretty fine turn. I likely would be leading with a Breeding Pool untapped, depending, of course, on what my opponent plays as their opening hand. And we essentially have 3 spells that we can cast, right? So that's the reason I'm keeping this. We only functionally have 2 spells we can't. And if we get 1 more land, then we have, most of our hand except Teferi that we can cast. So I think this is reasonable to keep. It is definitely on one of the worst sides. Okay, red. Okay, so if this is burn, I don't actually think that I want to play out the Spell Pierce here. Because if they just play another creature, then I'm down 2 life. And I pretty much never want to be down 2 life. To Spell Pierce or not to Spell Pierce? They did mulligan. So maybe they only have something like Light Up Edge. Let me know in the comments if you would play a Breeding Pool untapped and use the Spell Pierce. I'm going to. It's real cagey. My opponent might choose not to do something with it, but, maybe they kept... Darn. Alright, they didn't. So that's unfortunate for sure. It did essentially mean I'm just going to lose some life. Here, instead of playing Hero of Precinct One, which I assume it's just going to die, I might opt to Depose instead in order to tap stuff down. Yeah, I think I prefer that, and this is instant, so I'm going to go ahead and do it at instant speed. I'm going to rearrange my hand a bit. There we go. All right, another lava runner. That's fine. Do they move to combat? They do. Okay. So now I'm going to go and depose this. I would like to draw a land. It's not the land I was looking for. I would prefer to draw a land that didn't hurt me. Okay. So I could Growth Chamber, I could Hero, hold up Hallowed Fountain, I could Hallowed Fountain into Knight of Autumn, gain 4 life. I think that's the best play, is functionally gain 2 life and have a blocker that they very well might end up using removal on this, like a shock or something, but I'm fine with that, and it looks like they are. But what this allows me to do is still gain that 4 life, back up to 18, a relatively healthy life total against an opponent who, you know, is only going to have 3 or so cards in hand. And then the following turn, if we don't draw an additional card, we can hold up Hero of Precinct 1 and Spell Pierce. Or, sorry, an additional land, so. Oh, they're just going for my face. Interesting. Ooh, that's a big yikes from me. Runaway Steamkin still real powerful with cards that draw you cards. Okay, he's gonna get to play a land and a Fanatical Firebrand. He's probably gonna use the Firebrand to kill Knight of Autumn. Going to take, what is that? Oh gosh, 8 damage down to 5. Not looking great, to be honest. Oh, he has more to play. A Chain Whirler. Okay, so I'm going to go down to, what, 4? No, because he lost some. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I'm going to go down to 5 still. Alright, well, that's not very helpful. I'm still dead, no matter what I do. Darn. Well, for what it's worth, that's now 1-2 against Mono Red. But hopefully, since these games seem to connect a lot faster, hopefully we'll actually be able to play a sizable number of games. Oh, once again, for the thumbnail for this video, I decided to incorporate the I'm apparently Nissa again. The active sets not thumbnail. What the heck is the word? This is fine hand. Set symbol, geez. The active sets set symbol. And I'm really curious how you guys feel about it. I want to know if you guys think it's good. And I posted up a poll on like the community tab thing. I don't know how that works. That asks that exact thing with some extra things. So that's a card that I don't like. That's that shit I don't like. Fraud people, y'all people. Yeah, I'm brown. I can say it. I'm not saying it. Your shit, make believe, rapping about my own life. Oh, look, it's a Merfolk Ranch Walker. Oh, it's Sultai. How surprising. Oh, I'm being a prick. Let us go ahead and attack in with both. Yeah, let's attack in with both. If they decide to block, I'll go ahead and use Growth Chamber. Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Alright. Do it. Yeah, do it, punk. You didn't know I had anything else to play. I'll take that action. I'll take this Growth Chamber Guardian. So I still functionally added 2 power to the board, right? So. Sure, that's totally fine with me. Ooh, a Tribunal. Tribunal is a rude. Could just get in for damage. Do I want to do that, or do I want to use Growth Chamber Guardian? For what it's worth, I think I'd rather Tribunal, since they're kind of messed up on mana. Like, I feel like they shouldn't have kept that out, but I do think I'm just going to go ahead and Tribunal. The Tribunal always comes to the people's aid. For those who don't know, I also play Elder Scrolls Legends. I mostly just play story mode and solo arena, because I'm a scrub lord, and I feel like I'm not very good at that game. I play a Tribunal control in the actual gameplay, but we're playing Magic. We're not playing ESL. You really shouldn't keep that on top, dude. You need lands. Okay, thank you. It's a land, Dwar Elf. Unfortunate. I mean, I could be kind of a dick and just, like, take him off the land or else. Do I want to do that? I could. I could. Is that what I want to do, though? Yeah, I'm really greedy. And being able to keep him off 5 mana, I think, is important against the Sultai deck. We'll attack in with this. Alright, so they're dead in 2 hits from Growth Chamber. Did they top deck a land? They might have. It looks like they top deck removal, so I think they'll be killing the Deputy. I shot the Sheriff, but I... Oh, nope. Just another Jade Light Ranger. Don't mind. And you got some lands. There you go. But hopefully, we have slowed them down enough. A little unfortunate. They can kill my Growth Chamber Guardian. But I'm pretty sure I have to attack here. 5 mana. They could 5 mana Vivian Reed minus on the Jade Light. Or, yeah, on the Jade Light. So they'd have 1 blocker if they did double attack. I'll still just attack in with Growth Chamber. Yeah, okay, they do decide to double block. I'll go ahead and just let both die. I guess they could find for these 2. No, but they still wouldn't have the mana to do anything about it. So here I think I'm just going to double up on Growth Chamber Guardians. They're functionally similar to Knight of Autumn, except if they do have some enchantment or something that I need to get rid of, I can still use Knight of Autumn for that. So they're on 5. My assumption is Planeswalker. Could also be something like Doom Whisperer. Assassin's Trophy on that. Ooh, unfortunate, my friend. I will go ahead and take action. Also, they may have tapped that wrong. They may have needed a Jade Light Ranger. But they it auto-tapped the forest. Find? Yep. I feel as if that might have been a thing that happened. So we're going to do this. Oh man, I can force them to take this block. Next turn they would have the ability to play Wildgrowth Walker and Jade Light Ranger. So I could bluff the kill. Sweet leg, Johnny. And then Dream Eater the Wildgrowth Walker in response. I think that's probably the play. So I'm going to attack with all to get max damage. Now I feel like I just kill it. If I kill it, there's not really a reason for me to do anything else. Because they'd still gain life. Yeah, I think they're going to gain life regardless. But I think I do want to go ahead and kill this. I still hate that sound. It's so gross. So I could do the same with the second one just to get through additional damage. And I think I should. It's not a good game yet. Alright, no more. Is one dead? Is one dead? Yeah. Okay. So he can play Wildgrowth Walker into Jade Light Ranger. And that would give him, what, 9 life? Sure. Carnage Tyrant is not going to help you that much. Okay. So, gave him 9 life. I can Conclave Tribunal. I could Dream Eater. I definitely want to get rid of this. Then I can just attack in with all of them. Deputy might die. But I don't think I care about that. But the question is, do I Dream Eater instead of Conclave? No, I think I play out Growth Chamber Guardian. And then I can use this with the Conclave. Boop. Oh, well. I did my mana wrong. Oh well. Alright, you go away. Okay, I'll just attack with these, I suppose. So he'll take 4, go down to 5. Next turn, if all he plays is Carnage Tyrant, then... Okay, finality. I think that's fine. Yes, I think that's fine. Hero. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, let's... Do I want a hero? Or do I want an end of turn Dream Eater? I think I would rather end of turn Dream Eater, to be honest. Yeah, I think I prefer that. What you playing? Looks like he's playing another Find. Interesting. So I guess I'll Dream Eater in response to the Jade Light Ranger. Oh gosh. Is that my actual cat? Oh gosh. I wonder if you guys can hear my cat. Well, it's not my cat, it's Abigail's cat. Goodbye. Goodbye. Depose. It's not bad. Frilled Mystic can't hit that, but it can hit other things, so I think I'll keep both of those on top. Goodbye. So long, farewell, our readers, and goodbye. Cast down. Well, that's a bit awkward, my friend. Let's see. So we can, let's see, if we play Teferi, we'll have 3 untapped at the end of our turn. I'm definitely going to go ahead and attack in here. But I think the plan, I assume they're going to cast this down, so I think the plan is to play Hero of Precinct One into Deploy. I think that is the plan. Nope. Cat, I will play with you after I'm done recording. Stop meowing. Kitty, why? No, how do you have another one? If it's just a single thing, oh wait. What? Oh, they're gonna do it in response, I guess. Kitty, please. I understand you're lonely. But please stop. Well, that was an interesting cast down choice. Does he have another one? Good game. I have Frilled Mystic now. So I'm gonna go ahead and not you. Go ahead and try to kill you. Oh, that would save you. Huh. Good thing I have a Frilled Mystic for the win. I love this card. I think the good game was bait. I totally think the good game was bait. Well, Scrungo, I'm sorry to say that easy mode makes decent decks. I'm not gonna say great decks. You know, he's not top of diamond right now. I don't think. I actually don't remember where easy mode said he was. I should ask. I'm a terrible person. I just have so much work to do, man. I am Gideon again. It's fine. This person is Eerie Island. This is an okay hand, a little slow, but you know we have some castable cards. So I think this is fine. We're going second, so you know if this is against Burn, it could be bad. Oh gosh, it could also be bad if we're playing it against Mono Blue Tempo. Say it ain't so. I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me. Nah. I'm gonna die. Could be Izzet Drakes. Would I prefer Drakes or would I prefer Mono Blue? I think I would prefer Drakes. Oh man, I freaking hate Mono Blue, dude. Oh, it looks like it's Drakes. Ask and ye shall receive. See what he chucks into his graveyard. Oh, Crackling. That's an interesting thing. I think he needed the land. That's my guess. I don't think I'll need those, so I'm just gonna go and play this Hallowed Fountain tapped. And chuck this awkwardly over here since they don't match up. Enigma Drake. Sure, that's fine. What do I want to do here? So I could Sunpetal Grove into a Night of Autumn, just to have a decent-sized Chungus. They don't usually have enchantments, right? I know some Drake decks now have been playing freaking Curious Obsession. They're like, is it Tempo? But since this is playing Crackling Drake, I feel like this is more likely normal Izzet Drakes, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make a Chungus. Next turn I can play the Glacial Fortress and hold up Frilled Mystic. which will serve a nice dual purpose of being able to stop what they want to do, start what I want to do. Seems decent. This music feels a little loud. So we're gonna just tone it down a bit. Just tone it. Tone it. Can you tone it down a bit? Alright, I think that's a little better. Sure. I'll totally win this race. You gonna play another Enigma Drake? What are you doing, Triple Eerie? Gonna kill my knight? Incredibly rude, sir. Incredibly rude. Oh, next turn I have a nice Teferi. And the nice thing about this is if they don't actually cast something that I care about, I can go ahead and just deploy end of turn. Yeah, sure. Attack. I don't care. I'll take 4. What have I played so far? Just this? I don't know if they know that I have Frilled Mystic. Charter Course. Do I want to counter Charter Course? Yes, I do. And Frilled Mystic. Oh, cool. She didn't get countered. That's nice. I will take that action. She could die to a Shock or a Lightning Strike or something like that. Or another Lava Coil. They have it in their hand. Darn. They had another Charter Course. That's fine. So here I think it's actually correct to just Teferi minus on this. Because my opponent doesn't have like any response to it, so. Pay 2. Teferi. I could absolutely technically +1. Sorry, and I would have access to Depose or Warrant on this. But these decks, you know, they do play some amount of counter magic. They do play dive downs. So while they're you know, tapped down, I'm gonna go ahead and shove that in there. Okay. It's not just the music. I'll turn the master down a little. Enigma Drake, sure. Do you have the max velocity in this deck? Looks like they're gonna kill my Frilled. It's fine. They do still only have 1 mana, but that is something that they can utilize. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what do I want to do here? I could... Damn, unfortunately there's nothing that I can do that uses Teferi super well. I mean, I can Hero, and then try to both Depose and Warrant, or Warrant, I should say. I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and play Hero, and then I'll pass the turn, and I will play Warrant first. Oh, right, but they would have to attack. No, I guess I play Depose first. Fudge. If they play a dive down, then I kind of get screwed, don't I? I guess it's actually better than to just let them attack, try and warrant it, and if then they have something in response to Warrant, I can go ahead and utilize Deploy. For what it's worth, I get a trigger at least. So do you have a counter for this? Or some response to this? Does only have 3 cards in hand. So hopefully. Fantastic. So we know they're drawing 2 Enigma Drakes in a row. Okay, it looked as if they didn't have another thing, so we're going to go and play Deploy. My opponent could be playing, what is the word I'm looking for? That 3 mana kill certain things card, the pirate card.
Hold that thought.
Oh, another Deploy. We are definitely just going to go ahead and attack in there, smack in there. Yeah, I guess the mana is just kind of wasted. Oh well. Sweet. Enigma Drake, you don't say. I'll let that resolve. I will try to Dream Eater end of turn. Right, that gets me the kill. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Darn, it's 1 away. Still, I think I'm going to try and Dream Eater end of turn. Oh my gosh, it resolved. Nah. I will keep Dovin though. I'll target you. And I'll take that action. Schwag. Schwag, schwag, schwag. Let's plus first. Let's see what we draw.
Let's skip to the good part.
Cool. Let's go ahead and use some... You were going to live at 1. Just saying. Cool. See, this deck does well. We've done decent. Brass's Bounty, sure. Where are we at? 30 minutes? Let's play another game. It's fine. Been playing very slightly longer games recently. Yeah, I want to show off the deck as much as I can. I do feel like I've been improving on the DeckTech, and I think saving the sideboard for last is also quite helpful. Oof, this is a big yikes. We have access to Spell Pierce on turn 2, and like Chamber Guardians on the following. I think this is fine. It's iffy because they all come in tapped, but you know, we have one of each, so we'll have the mana base like fine. I guess technically I should do this one. Ow. I hit my foot into the wall. Alright, cool, they didn't have anything. Oh, this is nice. I am going to just play this tapped. Yes. So if they play a non-creature spell, I can go and Spell Pierce it now. If they don't, I can play Hero, hold up Spell Pierce. Or maybe I want to play Growth Chamber Guardian, hold up Spell Pierce. I'm not sure. Is this a mirror? Holy crap, is this a mirror? Interesting. Let us go ahead and play out a Hinterland Harbor. And I guess I would rather Growth Chamber Guardian. The unfortunate thing is, my opponent probably going to play a land into adapt Growth Chamber Guardian, is my guess. No! They decide not to. They go with the History of Benalia play. Goodbye, History of Benalia. Eat your heart out. So that was, I mean, that was a fantastic, fantastic scenario. I think I will just go ahead and block this, drain them of resources. You know, we have Teferi in our hand plus these two. So this is totally fine. Now that we have Hallowed Fountain, all of these will come in untapped, and we'll go ahead and just play both of these. Next turn, we can go ahead and play Teferi, plus Teferi, or minus it, depending, of course, on what our opponent plays. And I think we're going to be in a decent spot. Opponent has Guild Gates. Unfortunate. Alright, very interesting indeed. I think that's correct to just play out Teferi here. You know, when your opponent has shields down, it's Teferi time. It's Teferi time.
Just hold that thought.
It's Teferi time again. You know, it's, what is it? I don't know. It's Teferi time again. You just might die of fright. It's playing Teferi time. Yeah, I like Scooby-Doo. I watched a pup named Scooby-Doo. I watched a pimp named Slickback. You know, all of the classics.
You know what? I'm not done.
I love how my mind just deteriorates more and more. Every time I play longer-ish videos. What the hell am I talking about? We'll go and play this, because then we will be able to double up on the Groth Chamber Guardians, the Groth IRAs. Do you have Seal Away? You sly dog. You trying to seal me away? You know what? I'm not done yet. I guess I don't need this. Not what I expect. But we have Warrant, so F off. I do have to wait for it to block. And the correct answer is to block the hero. Do I want to warrant that? Yeah. I think that playing this card is warranted. Especially since they could attack my Teferi. Yeah, F off, go by. And we will untap this one and this one. And we can still utilize one of our Growth Chamber Guardians. See if our opponent plays land and activates Incubation Druid or something else. Well, the thing is, now I know about the Angel, so it's not going to be nearly as effective. And these Growth Chamber Guardians, as I said, they chain it themselves quite nicely. Go ahead and use one. And just for my attempt, I'm going to go ahead and get another one. That bubble the like, that sound, ugh. Take action. Thank you. Let's go ahead and plus. We're just now getting to the good parts.
We need to move quickly.
We need to move quickly. Let us attack with just our Growth Chamber Guardians. Now, that could have been like a double bluff where they're not actually going to bring in the Angel, and they are going to go ahead and saddle me now. Nope, it is just Angel. That's totally fine because I can kill it. Now, they can like bring it back for like 6 mana to set the like to 10, but and they're forcing me to use the mana here, but that's actually fine because I needed something to do with... yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I needed something to do with my Teferi on tap anyway, so... we're down to 8. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I can play Growth Chamber Guardian and still have the ability to adapt it by playing one of these taps, so I think I'll do that. I'll go ahead and play Growth Chamber Guardian. Knight of Autumn, you know, it might come in handy if our opponent plays another history. So we'll go ahead and boop and boop. Why am I keeping one of each open? Who cares? Doesn't actually matter. Oh, Detection Tower. I feel like those shouldn't be on the screen anymore. And we'll go ahead and use this. And we'll go ahead and say no to it. Maybe they're just going to activate this. But there's no situation where that super works. I don't know why I pressed take action again. That was absolutely my bad. So we're going to go ahead and plus Teferi. We might get something like a Frilled Mystic.
Hurry!
Darn. And the reason I was looking for a Frilled Mystic first is because they still might have Settle the Wreckage. The question is, do I attack in with anything other than these two? You know, it forces the block on this, and you are definitely correct. I could have Deputy of Detention to this beforehand, but I don't think it's worth it. I think the correct decision to make is this, because if they block it, they still go down to 2, although I guess they would be able to... yeah, so essentially I'm playing around either Settle or Angel, and I'm really not sure which I go for. I think I still am in the dominant position, so I think it's correct to just play a little bit conservatively around Settle. So so they can do that and block. That's also fine. I guess technically, you know, under the scenario, I could have killed them with my hero, but I just didn't feel I needed to. Let's go ahead and play this. Do I play out the Knight of Autumn? I honestly don't think so on this board. I might lose my Teferi, or I might lose my hero protecting Teferi, but you know, well, yeah, we'll Knight of Autumn. The reason I didn't want to is because I'm considering a Cleansing Nova, but a deck that ends up playing, you know, History of Benalia, Growth Chamber Guardian, Angel of Grace not so much, but those two, plus this, makes me think that they're unlikely to actually be playing Cleansing Nova. So what they can do here is play something and exile Angel of Grace, but my thoughts are that Angel of Grace... Ooh, Frilled Mystic. Alright, well, we're just going to win. I'll go ahead and Ultimate Teferi, I guess. But we're going to go ahead and Frilled Mystic some stuff.
With each turn of the clock, your reality will
these should not be here anymore. Yeah, tech all. I legit don't care. Sell me. I dare you. Angel? Pff, nah. Yeah, fun fact though. I have 2 mana to pay. Gonna go ahead and take action. And we are the champions, my friends. And we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. Something like you're a loser or something? Weird. I don't know. Let us get a M19 pack. Why not? Gotta look at Sarkin's Hershey's nipples. Oh gosh. Google DeepMind, don't censor me. Alright, and we're gonna look real quickly at the sideboard. Technically, this is somewhat modified because of the fact that I did put some other cards in here just to talk about them. So Easy Mode's list had an additional Baffling End and an additional Entrancing Melody. So I'm just going to get that off the bat. I added in an Absorb and a Hydrocrisis because I want to talk about them. So 3 Baffling Ends is what he was playing. Very helpful against a lot of red-based aggro decks, since those decks aren't able to actually deal with enchantments. 1, Disdainful Stroke. Helpful against a lot of other mid-range decks running around right now, and especially helpful against Control. 2 Negates. Very similar. This is helpful against Control primarily, as opposed to mid-range and Control. But you can, for example, play this against an opponent who is very enchantment-heavy, very planeswalker-heavy, very, like, just burn heavy, right? This is totally fine to bring in against Izzet Drakes or something like that, so very decent. I do think that because we are playing Hero, that I think Absorb should be considered somewhere in your counterspell suite. It does cost 1 additional mana, and it is definitely significantly harder to cast in terms of mana cost or mana color requirements. But I do think not only the fact that it gains life and it does hit anything, I think that you should probably be running some number of absorbs instead of something in your sideboard. I think that you could probably consider dropping down a little bit on, like, you don't necessarily need the other Teferi, and I definitely don't like the Entrancing Melodies, so that's something that you can do there. But, you know, that's just my suggestion. Easy Mode made this deck. Additional Dovin Bond. This is another one that I don't think is quite necessary. I've never really loved putting additional Planeswalkers in from the side, except Planeswalkers that are super effective at a very specific matchup, right? So, like, Angrath is very helpful against kind of these control strategies where you can just keep burning them and dealing with their hand. That just requires answer quickly, or else it just spirals out of control. But Dovin Bond I don't feel the same way about. I think having 2 in the main board is totally fine. So this is another one of those that I think maybe cut for Absorb. Who knows? 2 Settle the Wreckage, because we play a lot of creatures, but we still need a way to deal with our opponent's creatures. So if your opponent is playing a lot of creatures, bring in Settle the Wreckage. It's a good card. Lyra, because sometimes we need to gain life, and if your opponent is pressuring your life total, bring in Lyra. Additional Teferi, already talked. I don't think that the additional Teferi is super helpful. I definitely could see it being brought in against Control, just to have an additional Teferi in a Teferi fight. But for what it's worth, I don't think that trying to do a Teferi fight with a Control opponent is going to be as helpful, because of the fact that they get a lot more value out of their +1. And they also get a lot more value out of their -3, where we are able to get tempo from the -3, being able to, you know, take away a blocker or something like that. We're not going to be able to utilize that nearly as much against a heavy control deck, whereas they're going to be able to -3 us, not to get tempo on attacking, but to get tempo on us not attacking, right? And they're going to be a lot more able to utilize that additional time. So I feel like Teferi not actually that great against other control decks. Carnage Tyrant, however, it's fantastic. I would say cut the Teferi, get with the Hero. I messed that up, but whatever. Carnage Tyrant, you should play 2 because they're real good. Entrancing Melody, I just don't love this card. We never really hit a bunch of mana. We are playing 25 lands, but I feel as if we never hit a bunch of mana, not enough to justify playing Entrancing Melody. And there aren't as many creatures that we super care about. Honestly, I would rather just run, additional, like, removal spells, either enchantment-based or otherwise, that just allow us to deal with a creature instead of trying to pay a lot more mana to take it. So that's just how I feel about it. And Hydrocrisis, the only reason I include this is because Hydrocrisis is just a good card. we don't get a huge benefit out of it because we're not playing like a bunch of ridiculous mana shenanigans, but a Hydrocrisis for X = 4 is still a Hydrocrisis. That's a 4/4 flying trampler that draws you 2 cards and gains you 2 life. That's still a good rate for me. So, you know, if you have a bunch of Hydrocrisis, Crassi, whatever, I suggest running them, trying them out at least. You know, having a bit of fun with it. Anyway, I would like to thank my lovely patrons, especially Salamander, Zaraga, and Easy Mode up here in the top right, for their continued support of this channel. Definitely go check out Easy Mode's channel. He is still pretty new, but you know, being able to go over to his channel and see him and, you know, give him a bit of critiques, you know, be nice about it. Don't be mean, but, you know, give him some critiques. Even if you don't end up subscribing, you should definitely check his stuff out. He makes really fun, interesting decks. Yeah. Is there anything else? Oh, right. If you want to support the channel, you find links to that down in the description below, as well as links to the Discord server where you can play games with everyone over there, where you can also talk about help getting help for your deck lists, right? There's a whole channel devoted to talking about deck lists, so you can get help there. You can go to my Aether Hub account, where I host all of my deck lists, including this one. Even though it is Easy Mode's deck, I will still include it on mine, and I'll go ahead and put a link to Easy Mode's channel in the comments of that Aether Hub thing. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment in the comment section down below, and pass the turn and the video to your friends. And until next time, all will be one.